Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fintech Friday. We're making our way into the summer months now, and hopefully everyone's enjoying the early summertime. So I'm super excited about our guest this week, Nagesh Cherukupalli with Infosys. And we've at FinLocker, we've gotten to know Nagesh and his team really well. I spent some time with him a week or so ago, and I thought this would be just a super cool discussion to kind of get Nagesh's thoughts on all things fintech. So welcome, Nagesh. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thanks for inviting me. And I think we've had great conversations the last couple of weeks, the various topics that we've discussed. I'm excited to be part of this session.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about this, because I'm not a professional podcaster, so there's no planning, and you can attest to that. You and I literally had a 30-second conversation, and we're off to the races. So what we do on the show is we start every episode asking the guest to just share your thoughts on the term fintech. What does it mean to you? And I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts here.
That's a great way to start this conversation, right? I mean, fintech. I would say that this is something that we've been using of late for the last 5 to 6 years. But I always felt, financial services, specifically banking, and whether it's trading or the capital market segment, right? I think they've been extensively using technology for the last 40, 50 years. That's where I think a lot of innovation has happened. Of late, what has changed, I would say in the last 10 to 15 years, is more and more technology companies trying to, use technology, get into the financial services and offer products, right? One of the first innovator, I would say, is PayPal. We all know today PayPal, how successful it's been, right? And how they have revolutionized the whole financial services segment. And today, there are a lot of banks that are really, challenged with the way the new fintechs are coming up with new products and new offerings, and especially focusing on customer experience, right? How do we tune the products to what the customers want, not the other way around, right? I've got something, how can I sell this to the customer? I think that's the aspect that I would say, what has changed. But financial services, technology always go hand in hand for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Whether it's banks or the financial services institutions using technology, it's more of what, how technology companies coming up, to speed and trying to offer a differentiated solution.
I love that, because what I just took from you is that the term fintech, most of us think it's a 5 to 10-year-old term. And the reality of it is fintech has been around since banks have been around, right? If you think about banking, 20 years ago, the fintech was the back office. It's all the work that was going on in the back office. It wasn't really customer facing. And so this is our 9th episode, and we've gotten like 9 unique, different kind of thoughts on this. And you just really nailed it by saying fintech's been around as long as banking's been around, essentially, which is
Absolutely,
awesome.
Absolutely. It's about how best you can use the technology, right? How do you actually innovate? Technology is always used to innovate, offer better services, right? It's not about just improving the back office. It's more about how can I get in front of the client, and how can I do things better for the clients, right? I think that's what PayPal has done. That's what Stripe is doing, or that's what today FinLocker is doing, right? By offering technology in the hands of your the banks and the end clients, right? More importantly, on how they can take decision, how they can actually enable themselves, and get better educated,
Right.
And taking the services.
So let's talk a little bit about Infosys. Great company, global company, massive company, and you guys are in all kinds of different verticals. We've gotten to know each other in kind of the mortgage and banking verticals, but share a little bit about who Infosys is, how you serve the U.S. mortgage and banking industry, and some of the cool things you guys are working on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Infosys is a global company, and we always, I mean, we've been in business for last 40 years. While our traditional, our the focus in the past was primarily to provide technology services, to many of our clients, in terms of helping develop the applications, build the applications, maintain and run these applications and infrastructure. What has changed in the last 10, 15 years is, there is a significant transformation happening all over, right? Banks are always looking for new solutions, and if you actually see, there is significant crunch that's happening in terms of offering these solutions to the market, right? How quickly can I bring the solutions to the market? How can I actually use, make the best use of technology, right, to be able to offer these solutions to the market? And moreover, the competition is trying to, move fast, and we got to help our clients to actually catch up, can not only catch up but also move ahead of this competition. And that's where we started innovating ourselves, and we started looking at how can we be a full service provider to the bank? How can we actually bring a suite of solutions, not only developed in house, but also the best of breed solutions available in the market? And how can we bring all of these things together and offer a comprehensive package to our clients, so that they then can take it and offer to their clients, right? Always think from our clients shoes, and come up with offering solutions and products that will align, right? So that's what Infosys has been focusing on in the last I would say last 5 to 10 years, and it's been extremely successful. I mean, today we are working with many of our clients in building new products, new banking products, new mortgage products, right? We are providing an end-to-end service, right, that includes technology, not just technology, but also business operations, and also helping them in terms of client acquisition, client retention, right, and taking responsibility for some of those methods.
Yeah, so I think for our viewers and listeners, they're not necessarily going to see Infosys as a product facing in the market. You either collaborate and co-develop or develop products for clients, or power back office operations from a BPO perspective, and I think people would be probably surprised at how many mortgages you all touch one way or the other in the industry.
Absolutely. So that's the period. I mean, we always want to make sure that the clients become more efficient, and they are able to offer better experience to the clients. But end of the day, all of that back end, from a technology perspective, the transformation perspective, is something that Infosys is responsible, right? It's about how do we actually remove the friction, when a mortgage company or a bank interacts with their client, and how can we be a significant portion of that, removing that friction, and helping them, leverage the best of the technologies. Right. I mean, again, going back to what you said, right? The fintechs, how do they play a role? I mean, the way I look at it, right? There are multiple things happening within the mortgage space. I mean, it's no longer a single monolithic end-to-end platform or a custom application that you develop and start running everything on that application, right? There are challenges and limitations that you would have. Like today, if you actually see, just in taking mortgage as an example, you've got multiple products that would help in terms of origination, multiple products that would help in terms of servicing. How do I actually bring the best of breed solutions for my clients, right? And as you said, FinLocker is there in terms of helping acquire those clients. How do you actually look at the various products that are available? So our role is to actually bring all of these solutions together and deliver that to our clients, so that they can focus on their client rather than focusing on how do I bring these systems, how do I run the operation.
Right. So FinLocker, we've got some experience with you guys. We have a partnership, and I think this is a perfect example of where folks like Infosys kind of serve the broader industry. So we have our own staff developers and designers and product folks, and they're working on just the things that we have in our roadmap. Well, FinLocker, we had a significant project that we wanted to undertake, and that was relaunching our mobile app experience for consumers. And so for us, there was two things that were really important. Well, there are three things, probably more than that, but there's three key things. One was we wanted to be able to get into market as fast as possible, right? So we have this idea that's created, we kind of know what we want to do, and we want to get into market as fast as possible. Well, we're a small fintech startup. We have a staff of X, and for us to go hire a bunch of people for this project is going to take some time, it's going to take some capital, and then when the project's done, what are we going to do with these people? And so this is where partnering with Infosys, you all have basically become a seamless extension of FinLocker in terms of developing our mobile app. And I want to talk a little bit about that because I'm not in the day-to-day process, but I'm just watching kind of with some awe and amazement at how this process works. And I think this speaks to the fact that you're a global company. So, we started back in December with, some design workshops led by your team. And what I thought was cool was we would do a workshop, a 4-hour workshop, let's just say 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. And by the way, everyone knows this, we did it all remote, right? We had to. And so we get this workshop, we get a bunch of feedback and ideation, and your team, your design team would take those thoughts and kind of put them into a form. And then this is me, being a little bit distant. You would then also share it with your team in India. Okay, so now in my mind, the next day when I come in, I'm seeing my ideas, the things that I talked about, come to life in wireframes, which is an amazing process. Talk a little bit about how that really fast tracks and enables development with a partnership with like Infosys.
Absolutely. So the key is, right, I mean, what we have been focusing on in the last 10, 15 years and helping our clients is to actually, look at the experience, right? It's about having that end user experience. How do you actually get that, right? So, to that extent, we actually have acquired a couple of design agencies, and we have also set up an experience design center in partnership with Rhode Island School of Design. So we've actually deepened our capabilities in the design aspect. So we believe, right, it's about understanding the end customer and making sure that we work towards, we create some rapid prototypes that can then provide a visual impact to yourself and your end clients. And that's when, you get a quick feedback and that can be incorporated rather than going through a regular waterfall model where you actually wait for, some of these, outputs to be delivered, 3 months or 6 months down the line after you finalize your requirement. So just take the case in point, right? Your FinLocker, what we've done, we've actually gotten our design experts from Wong Doody, Infosys digital practice, and we have put them together as a team, right, that can work with the back-end technology teams, right? And they initially used to do that design thinking sessions, work with you and your clients, come up with these, ideas, and then take those ideas back to our development team, come up with, the designers and developers actually used to work on those wireframes and prototypes. And then that used to come back to you next day morning. So we always used to do this whole global delivery model is part of our, the DNA of every Infosys. But what actually augmented that is this whole designing it and, working towards creating the prototypes and quickly providing those prototypes and, taking that feedback and then refining it the next day, right? So that was, quite unique. And I think that's what actually, helped us develop this whole mobile application in a very rapid fashion and being able to, be ahead of the timelines, right? In most cases. And, if everything goes well, we'll be launching that mobile application and hopefully that would change in terms of, what your customers are expecting.
Yeah, it's been a great process, but like I said, for me personally, just the uniqueness of words coming out, at 10 a.m. and inside of 24 hours having clickable wireframes to engage with is just a phenomenal way, and it really has accelerated for us, for FintLocker, the development and what will be a phenomenal mobile app that'll be out here in a few weeks. I'm curious, as you kind of look across the U.S. mortgage and banking industries. You talked a little bit about kind of the influence of Stripe and PayPal. Are there other trends that you're seeing in terms of the consumer experience from a digital perspective?
Absolutely, and I see multiple trends, right? I mean, I call this as so I call this micro segments, right? When you actually look at the banking and mortgage, there are multiple micro segments that exist within this, banking and we call it whether different business processes or a cluster or call it micro segments, right? I mean, just take the example of mortgage. As I mentioned earlier, there are multiple micro segments that are actually evolving within the mortgage space, and we see that there are specialized. You call it fintechs or technology companies that are developing these financial products that actually are focusing on those areas, and those actually bring a lot of value. Other than that, what I see is probably going to make most impact in the next few years is on the payments front, right? So real-time payments, payments transformation, and what's happening with respect to what we hear in the market, the cryptocurrency and all of that stuff, right? That is sort of going to change the way the companies are going to evolve. I mean, we see 3 years back, there was no bank who was even touching anything related to cryptocurrency, but today we've seen so many banks that are offering it. We've got banks that have started launching mobile applications. We've got one of the application that's being developed, right? So again, to help buy and sell cryptocurrency just on a mobile app. I mean, we know about Coinbase and many of those. So that's one area that I would see evolving. But the other important area that I think, which is most critical, where a lot of work will happen, is on the experience, right? How do you actually engage the client? How do you look at every dollar of your client and see what is the best way to either spend it, save it, or use it for something else, right? What is the best way to do it? If you're spending it, are you spending on the right thing, right? And how do you actually look at the various options that you have, right? I think trying to get into the transaction and helping the client to take the right decision and making sure that they understand why they are taking the decision. I think that's where the focus is going to be, and make that experience seamless and easy. I think that's the other. And we see a lot of new products that are coming up in specifically in the customer experience, data analytics, AI. Those are the areas that I think the investments will happen, and those are the areas that I would see a lot of new products that are starting to come up or have come up.
I love that, and you kind of segued into my last question that I was going to ask in this segment. And so, consumer experience, data analytics, AI, insights, all of this is really at its core driven by consumer data, right?
Yes.
And so I'd love your, this is a kind of a self-serving question, but I'd love your thoughts on just kind of how you view the value for a consumer, the value of them controlling their data and being empowered to use that data to enable transactions and things of that sort.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where I think I would say a lot of focus has been there, right? I mean, with what we are hearing in the market, with what we are hearing, in terms of the various breaches happening, consumer always would like to have control on their destiny. Always want to look at, today they do have access to data, but they don't have it in a way that they would like to see, right? I mean, I know that I'm making so many transactions, right? I use so many credit cards, but I really don't know on which particular product am I spending all of this money, right? I don't have a way to synthesize the data. I don't know, are there better ways to spend that money, right? Are there products available in the market? I mean, take the case in point, right? You are FinLocker and how it's helping the first-time home buyers, right? What is the, when do I need to buy my home, right? Is it better to buy or rent? I mean, this is a classic question that most of us ask ourselves, but there's no clear answer, right? Unless I really get into the details of my, the financial footprint and understand the environment, understand the entire landscape, and then I'll be able to take the right decision. So I think it's important that I know what I'm doing and I'm in complete control of what I do, right? And I think that's where your product would help a lot. And there are many other solutions that are coming up,
Yeah.
right? But one thing that we need to keep in mind as we offer these solutions to our clients, I think, is all around the whole risk, right? And the to what level of risk would a client be willing to take? So how do you actually combine this with some kind of a risk scoring model, and eventually sort of help banks also come up with the right methods to offer the right product,
Right.
the customized products, I would say.
I love it. Thank you for that. So Nagesh, this has been awesome, very insightful, and I want to close by asking you to share something about you that'll help our viewers and listeners get to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely. So thanks, Brian. I mean, once again, thank you very much for inviting me for this session. And from my perspective, I've always been excited, with the financial services sector. And as I said, right, technology has always been the integral part of financial services sector, and I have played, right from the start of my career. I've been working with many banks and financial service institutions in helping them, create new products. And I continue to do that. Today, my role as head of sales for financial services in Infosys, I think it's even more exciting with the possibilities that are out there, right? I mean, with the number of companies that are out there, the fintechs, and more importantly, right, I get to actually work with, like FinLocker, where we have a 360-degree relationship, right? I know what the clients want. I know, the power of your solution, and I know what Infosys can bring to the table. And bridging all of those together and offering a comprehensive solution that would really, create a wow factor with the clients. I mean, that's where I feel excited. And I think I would want to continue to work with, both the fintechs and the banks to be able to, move up to the next level in terms of their transformation journey.
That was awesome. I love it. Well, Nagesh, this has been wonderful. I appreciate you joining on relative short notice, but you've brought some great insights and information. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for joining this episode of FinTech Fridays, and we'll see you next Friday. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.